All right, time now for our weekly check-in with the world's news of science and technology. Dan Riskin, CTV News science and technology specialist, joins us now. Good Monday morning to you, Dan. Hope you're doing well.
Doing great. Good to talk to you.
And you, Dan. So let's talk about e-bikes. You know, they've sort of come out of left field to skyrocket in popularity, but it almost seems like we weren't prepared for this.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we were all talking about electric cars, and so we thought, well, our cities are built for cars, so electric cars will fit just fine. And now all of a sudden, all these people are riding electric bikes. If you look at sales in the States last year, they were up 145% compared to the year before on electric bikes. And so something like 500,000 electric bikes sold, which is more than double the number of electric cars. People love these things, and the people that ride them just can't shut up about them. They're obsessed. I don't know if you've got any friends that have ridden these things, but it's just like a life-changing thing, apparently. And the fact that these batteries are available that were intended for cars but work just fine in the bikes, and that lithium-ion battery technology is there. Plus, you've got a lot of bike sharing services that let you try these things out, and then people get hooked. So these absolutely have taken over, but the city's infrastructure isn't really built for them, and so it creates a lot of questions about how the future is going to look.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So you're kind of calling them the new vegans, it seems, the people who ride e-bikes, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure many vegans are riding them because they are, of course, environmentally friendly. The other criticism people give is, well, you're not really riding a bike. I mean, it's got a motor. You're lazy. But the data from the States show that people who have e-bikes are out on their bike more than twice as much as people who aren't on their bikes. And honestly, riding one of these things, even if you are getting a boost from the battery, is better than sitting in a car for your health, certainly, and definitely for the environment. So it's welcome in a lot of ways.
Definitely. Okay, we're moving to Japan for this next story, Dan.
Yes, so Japanese macaques are these monkeys that are sort of famous for sitting in the hot tubs, right? You always see pictures of them sitting in the water with their pink faces. There's a new paper that shows that if you look at their droppings, you find the DNA of fish. And we thought these were fruit-eating monkeys, and that maybe they would get like a little bit of protein every once in a while from somewhere. But this new paper suggests that we haven't even noticed, but somehow they're getting their hands on fish and eating them. But so far, it's just DNA evidence. And so now the game is to watch these things and see if they are in fact catching fish, or if not, how it is that the fish's DNA is ending up inside their digestive tract.
Yeah, no kidding. That's curious. I always wonder about sort of the research that goes into that. Going through the entrails of a macaque would be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the glory of being a biologist, is picking up droppings of animals and then analyzing them.
Totally.
It's part of the trade.
Yeah. Well, let's look up now. And this is more to meets the eye when we're looking in the sky these days.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I mean, every once in a while you look up at the sky and you see all those stars, and sometimes one of those little points of light moves across the sky and you say, ooh, it's a satellite. And if it's the International Space Station, sometimes it's really easy to spot. But there are these, you can see a nice viz of it there. This is Starlink satellites. So these are big arrays of satellites that are being sent up. And the idea is to give internet to places that don't have a wired connection. And so they can connect to the internet via satellite, but it requires tons and tons of satellites. And so that company, Starlink, already has about half of the satellites that are up there are Starlink satellites. And this warning has been shot out by a professor at University of Regina, Samantha Lawler. She's saying that at the rate things are going, it won't be long before about 1 out of every 15 points of light that we see in the sky will be a satellite. So when you look at the sky, instead of seeing a fixed sphere of stars like we've seen for millennia, what you'll see is a whole bunch of slowly moving dots all going in different directions. It would be very dizzying, could affect wildlife, and certainly would really change the way the sky looks to everybody everywhere in the world.
Yeah, imagine what Copernicus would think today looking up at that. But of course, the thing, Dan, is space is unregulated, so they can just sort of keep jamming them up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, SpaceX Starlink, so that's the company that's putting these things up there. They have the corner on the market, but Amazon Kuiper is another company that wants to do the same. OneWeb is a company from the UK, and then there's Starnet in China. So 4 companies together, they propose to have as many as 65,000 satellites in position. There are currently about 4,000. So 65,000 satellites. The sky would look totally different, and it's our sky, but we have no say. It's private companies. And so this is a place where regulation needs to come in. But of course, it's international. And so how do you get all the countries to agree on regulation? We've seen how well that goes with other things before. The question is whether it'll be fast enough.
All right. Yeah, there is so much to dive into on that. It's really great to chat with you. Of course, CTV science and tech analyst Dan Riskin joining us as he does here on Mondays on CB24 Breakfast. Always a pleasure, Dan. Thanks so much.
Take care. I enjoy it too.